I'm Leanne Harris, CEO for Keller Williams Portland Central, and today on Getting to Know Your Realtor, we have Caitlin Williams. Hi, Caitlin. How are you today?
Hello, I'm so good.
Good. Gosh, when we were off air, we were talking about the fact that we haven't seen each other for over a year.
It's been a hot
And
minute.
way back in the day, 10 years ago, when I first got started with KW, I remember there was this little thing that people would say, and they'd say, you need 10 hugs a day or people get weird. And I'm like, man, I'm getting real weird not seeing my friends.
And 20-second hugs, I believe, is the ratio.
Make it awkward. I'm giving you this virtual hug because I haven't seen you in over a year. And I'm just like, wow, I really miss my friends. And yet this is my opportunity to get back in front of all of you guys, really get to talk to you, but also find out, what's been going on in your real estate life and how we are helping clients out there still even in the pandemic. I know, nothing at all. Single mom, got the kids with the pandemic. It's crazy, but we're almost to the end. So tell us your journey in real estate.
Whoa, way back. So actually in December, now that we're in February, a couple of months ago was 11 years for me, which is nuts. It's funny talking on the phone with prospective clients or other referral agents sending me someone like, how long have you been in the industry and what are your stats? And you know what you're doing? You sound pretty young on the phone. I get that so much, especially when I started my career, and I still do. So yep, 11 years in the industry. But starting since 2014. So I'm right at 5-6 years, more than half my career, and I ain't going anywhere. I've been with, it's my third company, three times a charm. But actually I wasn't supposed to be the realtor in the family. You know a decent bit about me. We've worked together for 5-6 years at this point. You have my KPA downloaded in your brain, and
we've got to go on vacations together. We've traveled together.
We've done, a lot of the Keller Williams trips. We did a LC one year. So you know a lot about my background. So, dive in, happy to divulge in more detail any of this. But my husband at the time was supposed to be the realtor. He comes from a long line of realtors.
Yeah.
Mom, grandpa, I believe, was a realtor. So the books, they were like book form, would sit on our coffee table, like collecting dust. And I'm like, this Heidi personality. I'm like, get these out of the way. If you're not going to learn this, like they're collecting dust, or, and I came from the restaurant industry. I was hungering for more. I knew I was really good at service. I knew I was really good at pinpointing certain things out of people. And I'm just, I want to make more money. I want to expand my mind. I want to be challenged. I might as well do the realtor books since you're not doing them. Is kind of what happened. And I got passed my test in December, joined a company in January, and then chaos of it, that February, I would find out I was pregnant with my first kiddo. So it's like, all right, new career, new baby on the way. I can do this.
And you've been this rock star mom that's continued to I even have seen you at times where, of course, a very understanding client, but you're carting around the kids and you're getting the client through the door, and in busy markets, you're like, I can do it all. And you have clients that have definitely leaned into that. I know that there's a lot of moms that have reached out and said, Caitlin's an inspiration. That's who I want to use as our real estate agent. And it's because they go through the same things. We have this long list of unpaid work that we do every day. And so, yeah, for sure. And so fast forward just a little bit in the career. So you become a realtor. You're just, kind of making it through with your two other companies that you had been with. And then in 2014, you joined Keller Williams, Portland Central, and you're out in our Clackamas office, which is awesome. We've got 3 offices where a lot of people don't know all the spaces that we have, but
no, and that's huge. It's huge to be able to have an office to pop into as a single mom or anybody working at home, which is most of us right now. I have a home office, I can retreat there, but it is so important to get out of that, to get, if you're at home, you could be doing laundry in between things. Oh, it doesn't take that much time. Oh, it doesn't take that much time. It really, really does. I don't work just with any client, I have to value my time. And so I valued my time so much, that I'm in the office more and more and more in my own little personal office in my bubble here.
Yeah.
But it really matters if I'm going to use the small hours in the day that I have with my nanny, with the kids. I've got to make use of those hours and make it full-time hours and part-time hours sometimes.
Totally. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is just kind of patching it together.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that
Yep.
we've got the end in sight somewhere, but um, let's talk about, so you joined Keller Williams. I know that you've had kind of some different things that have happened, but you're actually very branded. And I know you didn't know that I was going to ask this question, but a lot of people don't understand that you can be a real estate agent and you can own your own company under our umbrella, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
so
was
you
important to
really,
me.
yeah, you really own your own
Yeah.
brand. You own your own business. You are your own S corp. Are you an S corp or an LLC?
LLC currently.
Yeah. And so
Mhm.
you're just like, you own your own company. And a lot of people don't understand that part of it. Do you want to talk about your branding or? Um,
Yeah, that was actually really, really important to me because it's important to me with some things that I went through as a new agent. My dad passed away a couple of years after that. And so I really have this deep down gut personal mission
yeah,
that I don't think anybody can replicate. And I wanted to make sure that my business was my business. And I didn't want to have to brand another company's brand. I, love the structure and the teaching and the coaching and the camaraderie and the success of the agents here while still being able to function, as I need to grow if I wanted to or needed to, or be a single agent. It's up
totally.
to me what I want. And I wanted that control.
Well,
Still do.
I like the, yeah, totally. I love it. We're control freaks over here.
Not a control freak at all.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand too, from an outside perspective, maybe even sellers too, is that understanding that we give you the platform, but you get to choose how you want to show up. And for you, the hands-on with your clients as a solo agent was critical for you, and being able to have the camaraderie with other real estate agents in our office in case you did need to take a vacation, that they could help you out, that you have a newer agent that can rush out to open up a door in a market
So
where we
awesome.
have less than a month of inventory.
Right.
We have so many people that can help each other, and we really are a very open book, supportive, helping environment. And so
Yeah, so what I've noticed, and I've always made this a part of my just introduction when I meet with a new client, but especially now, when I'm meeting with a new client, you're gonna hear me say, uh, you work with me. I am here from the start and to the end. And
yeah,
even when you do have your keys in hand, I don't go away. But as we're looking at homes in this low inventory market, it is incredibly important that you see the house, and I might not be available. So I've got a team of agents at the office that I can rely on, and I can brand myself as that team, and I have the support that I'm not just this little fish out here on my own.
yeah.
And I can put it out to other agents, that I'm able to have that backup and that support, because it's more important for the clients to get into that house and see it in this market than for me to be there personally 100% of the time in the showing aspect.
Yeah.
So that's a amazing resource to rely on.
I love that. Tell us, and yeah, I mean, then your clients are also, they get the speedy service that we
Yeah.
expect today in a world where so much is, online, and we can have it tomorrow.
Right.
Have
And I wouldn't
Amazon.
be best serving them if I wasn't able to get them in to see the house, whether it's
Yeah.
by video, whether it's them coming to see it in person. Their needs are our top priority, not my schedule. And so it's easy to accommodate that.
The other thing that I'm going to say, and then we'll get on to your three nuggets, is that you do a great job of making sure you network with the 170,000 agents that we have worldwide, or excuse me, in the US, so that your listings get a lot of eyeballs. So when you list somebody's house, you do multiple, I mean, I see like crazy multiple offers. You know how to price it. You know how to get eyes on it. You do a fantastic job in your marketing for your clients when they're listing with you. And I think a lot of people don't understand that when you list with Caitlin and you list with a realtor at KW, you have 170,000 eyes that are now sending it out to their database, right?
Yep.
Because we've got that platform. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
You want to talk about, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I have found that I love the referral aspect of real estate and getting to know other agents in other states, even other countries.
Yes.
And it wasn't that big of a thing, especially when I started in this industry. But last couple of years, and people, being able to work from home, you can live wherever the heck you want to. It's so important for me to have that relationship with another agent in another city, state, so that they can get the same level of service, this awesome service, wherever they're working. I can sell you a house anywhere.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
What are the 3 nuggets that you want people to take away from today's call or today's podcast?
Call podcast time.
Yeah.
I would say that our time is super valuable right now. I feel like we have more time since we're not as busy perhaps, but value your time. I watched the most awesome documentary the other day. It's The Minimalists, Less is More, and just really valuing what is important to you and your heart and your soul, and not letting the stuff of life get to us. So I love what I do. I love the people I work with. I love my family, and they're in particular priority order for a reason so that I can love and serve on all of them the way they deserve. That's
I love that.
kind of my biggest thing right now. Valuing your time and engage with people. Oh my gosh, get a hobby, get, safely around other people, gather with people. We are so missing a human connection right now. And you can't do life and you can't enjoy the home that you live in, the neighborhood that you live in, if you don't have that community. So, having your little camaraderie of family, friends is so, so, so important right now.
Yeah, for sure. I watch people walk past my house and they do the little walking clubs and they're 6 feet apart and they have their masks on and I love it. I'm like, get it, go out, get your walk on, anything, be outdoors and try to have that connection in some way. But even for me, being able to see you today, like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad I got to see Caitlin, and it's been a very long year for everybody. And I agree. It's odd because it's almost like because technology has ticked up, I feel like I'm busier than I ever have been. And I don't want to feel that kind of busyness where I can't get to everybody. But I really agree with you. Value your time. That's a really good one. Okay. What else? What other nuggets?
Things that we were talking about, starting my career off young, and then my dad passing away, I'm realizing how we're never guaranteed tomorrow, and in that story of, being a new agent and my dad passing away, just kind of a lot of things that fell into place where they were supposed to happen. A lot of people don't know this, but I really love to geek out on talking with people about their finances and their estates and their rentals and what legacy they're going to leave for their family, because it's a really big crappy mess to have to go through the probate process and have there be no estate have there be no life insurance. So going through the experiences that I've been through, use your experiences and pass those on, share those nuggets with people. That's where some good wisdom is going to come into play that I feel like we're not sharing anymore because we're not around each other.
Well, I think too, a lot of people just, not even that we're not around humans, but I don't think that people know that they can have a living trust because they think that that's for rich people. And your life insurance,
or way down the line, like, yeah. I'm 33. Why do I need that?
Totally.
Right.
Totally. And I think that this has probably woken up a lot of people. I think probate is horrible. I think it does tie up a lot of things for people and kids and family members and people that need to be taken care of right away.
Yeah.
And real estate is a big part of the probate process. And
you've been awesome at providing those opportunities for us to learn from probate lawyers and people who are experts, so that I really, really know what I'm talking about when I meet with my clients, and then to have an expert that I have heard from and am knowledgeable in. So, you guys have been wonderful at providing that. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I am a big proponent of getting a trust in place if you're going to get your home together. And I don't care if you're a single person, family, whatever. Get your trust in place.
If you're a single person and absolutely. Single mom with 2 kids here, they've got to be taken care of. Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
even if you don't have any kids, it's like, well, what's going to happen with your whole life savings is that it's tied up in the court system to who? Like, who do you want to take care of,
Right.
So I love that you have that knowledge because I mean, just for our listeners to understand, you take it a step further when they're taking their great, this is people's biggest asset in most cases. And you're taking that a step further and really helping them protect their asset by not just being
I
a
was
real
going to say
estate agent,
protecting it.
but connecting humans so that they are protected. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I don't even feel I was taken through the worst muck of the muck probate process. I got through it, but it took 2.5, 3 years. It's not quick. It's messy and it's expensive. So get it. Yeah, that's a huge nugget that I always try to pass on whenever I can.
Yeah, the good news is that if you put a trust together, you pay for it. You're gone.
Your kids don't have to.
Right, they just get the benefit of it. So wow. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. Anything else on that? On any other part of the nugget that you want to leave with the listeners?
I think just based off of what we've talked about, those are my biggest things so far. Yep.
What is, if you were going to write a book, my favorite question, because it tells so much about the person, what would your book be?
Oh, I'm such a book nerd. I could sit in a bookstore and read for days.
Wait, I just have to tell people this. And there's people, I have over 500 downloads, and some of them are in France, which is
you
really
should
interesting.
see my Audible. Yep, it's.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of downloads of people that are listening to this podcast, and so they won't get to see you visually. But Caitlin is absolutely stunning. She's beautiful. She's got, she looks all the stuff, right? And I'm not kidding. We have laughed so hard at what nerds we are. We're nerds. Like I tell people all the time, like, how do you know that stuff? I'm like, listen, I played the violin in 6th grade. That's all you need to know. So you are a big nerd. What's your book?
I am. So I would geek out and write a book on psychology and why the heck people act the way that they act. Why people act the way they act. Like,
no explanation.
Why you gotta be that way? Psychology, man, numbers in psychology is something that I geek out on big time. I love learning about family of origin stuff and teaching that to people and getting couples and families to act decently around each other and get through a real estate transaction. Knowing the psychology of people and just the basics of why they act the way they act allows me to love and serve other people maybe when they're being a little bit difficult to work with. And it happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it does. And what's funny is that what people are upset about, especially in transactions, generally are not exactly what they're upset about. It's like
it's not usually about the transaction.
No,
it's a personal issue. I've lived in my house for 40 years and now my cheese has been moved. What the heck? What and they're just working through stuff. It's really not about me. It's not about the transaction. It's a people business. It's not we're not in the business of selling houses. We're in the business of knowing people down to their core.
I think that you nailed it on the head with the 40 years of being in a house, is that the real estate agent really always should be a person involved in the transaction. And are we going to go to completely a robotic transaction? I don't know that we will.
No, maybe some, but the majority of people, we're still humans.
Yeah.
At heart and in our head.
Yep.
And we need that hand holding. We lack the hand holding. We're not experts in this for a reason.
Yep. And you're excellent with your contracts. You're excellent at your negotiation. I've heard you fiercely negotiate for your clients because I've been on the other side of it. And I've been in the room when you've had to take a call and I'm like, whoa, who'd you get off the call with? But it's like a fierce negotiation because you really take your position and your job serious for your clients. And I love that part.
Yeah. I remember this one specific time. You had to talk with some clients of mine because they felt I wasn't being mushy and squishy and marshmallowy and loving and hyper and excited. Like I wasn't hitting that button for them. And that's really sad for me that, and you came back and said, well, you're listing and buying with them, but you want this pit bull, you want her to negotiate for the highest dollar for you. You want that aspect of her, and if we need to bring in a bubbly buyer's agent to show you some houses, that's fine, but you want this in order to get this. And I remember you saying that little light bulb turned on for them. And it's
yeah, I'm very clear to only do the customer service part of our office because we have Amy Love, who's just such an amazing principal broker. And on the customer service part of it, you know, I only talk about you guys and a transaction and what I would want as a real estate agent, and that you really do know your contracts from front to back.
Aspect of me, yeah.
And that was the part that you were in a very difficult transaction, and you were really going to bat for them, and what they wanted, what, like you were saying, was that fluffiness. And I was like, you want fluffiness at the cost of about $40,000. I can't say that, you know, during that piece. I let Amy say it, but still, it's like, I was just thinking, man, clients, like I didn't see it, you know, because I'm standing on the sidelines and I buy houses too. I don't sell really any houses. I guess I sold one, but
yeah, I guess I take the emotion out of it to an extent, because this is dollars and this matters. And I know that, you know, the transaction is like this emotion wise. And I guess I just take that off and I get through the nitty gritty because it is a contract. It's black and white. There is no emotion in contracts.
Yeah,
so
very much legal. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to leave listeners with?
Yeah. So I've been in the industry 11 years now, and I could throw a couple nuggets back at myself when I started. So you, Leanne, looking back when you got started in this industry, what little piece of wisdom would you give yourself?
For a real estate agent or for a buyer or seller?
Ooh, for a real estate agent, there's a lot of new agents in this industry that get the opportunity to work with me. So what would you tell a new agent working with a more seasoned agent?
Yeah, I mean, for starters, I think that this is the nugget.
Cooperation is key.
Yeah, cooperation is very key. This is the one thing that I don't think that people realize, is that real estate is a little bit odd the way that it works. And I think that we have this idea about HGTV, about the way that the world is going to work in real estate. And that's just not the way it works. And even though I want to tell you that it's super sexy and all the beautiful things about real estate, because it is, and I'm very passionate about real estate as an investor, as a homeowner, and as running a brokerage, multiple brokerages. I absolutely love real estate, but you've got to almost, as a real estate agent, when you're coming in, is get rid of all your ego and every preconceived notion and follow the systems of a person that's gone before you. Amen. And so often we don't want to follow the people that have gone before us.
Love it. Oh, yeah. That's such a simple piece of wisdom, yet that can span eons. Thank you. And then my kids have a quick question for you. What are you having for dinner tonight?
Oh my God.
I asked them to get a question for me too. I'm sick of ordering in.
What is she having for dinner? Well, you can tell your kids that the good news is that I'm an adult and I don't have any children at home anymore. And so last night I ate candy for dinner, and I might have ice cream for dinner tonight because
I was going to say, and don't say wine and popcorn, because that's been my dinner for the last 9 months.
Wine and popcorn is my dinner about 3 nights a week. Yeah, I mean, I was very sensible for lunch. I had broccoli, rice, and chicken. And tonight I just might train wreck just for the fun of it.
Hey, what the heck? It's the beginning of February. Fresh start.
Well, Caitlin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I am so grateful for your time today. I just appreciate you being on.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for joining us today on Getting to Know Your Realtor. This episode was brought to you by Lifeline for Hope. Be sure to catch us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much again for joining us today. Have a great day.